Hey friends. So my friend Harper asked if I could help her make a volcano for her animal habitat triorama. And she also asked if I could help her make some clams. And the answer is yes, I would be happy to help you make both. The problem that I have right now is I can't quite make a volcano exactly because I only have white paper. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change that. I'm going to color some paper for the outside of my volcano, and I'm also going to color some paper for what I think lava might look like. So all I'm going to do is take a brown crayon, and I am just going to scribble. This is going to be the outside of the volcano. And if I want to, and I do, I'm going to add on a couple more colors too. I'm just going to add a little bit of gray. It's not really doing a whole lot. So let me add a little bit of black, just for some fun. And I know it doesn't look like the outside of the volcano yet, but it will. Or I hope it will. We'll see. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing with some lava, but I don't need very much. So reds and oranges. And maybe a little bit of a lighter orange. And a tiny bit of yellow. Okay, so don't get discouraged if you don't have colored paper. You're just gonna make your own. Okay, so the first thing I wanna do to make my volcano is I want to cut this out into a circle. When we have a volcano, what we're really trying to do is to make a cone. So we're gonna have a square, and it does not have to be exactly perfect, so I'm just gonna kind of gauge this, and if you want it exactly perfect, that's fine. We can do that cute little sailboat fold again, because we know how to do that. And I'm just gonna cut off this extra. So we're gonna start with a square-ish. And this is a square-ish. Then we need to turn this into a circle, okay? Turn it into a circle. So I can either do chocolate chip, baby chip, turn it, chocolate chip, baby chip, or I can just try to round off my corners. Whatever's gonna work for you. It does not have to be a perfect circle. I probably cut off a little bit of my brown, but that should be okay. You could paint it too. Paint it to have brown paper. But the problem then for me is I would be too impatient waiting on it to dry, and paper sculpture does not like wet paper. So a crayon is a good choice. Even sometimes a marker makes papers too wet. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to cut to the middle of the circle. And we've got one fold line that's gonna help us. Let's make one more fold like a taco. And that's gonna give you exactly the middle. Boom, boom. Okay. We're gonna make one cut, stop. Okay. This is gonna look like an upside down ice cream cone for the minute, but then we're gonna change it. So now we need to decide how fat we want our volcano to be. And you could do this for the mountain too. So that looks pretty fat to me. I don't want it to be that fat. So since I don't want it to be that fat, I'm going to keep overlapping some more and some more until I have about the shape and size that I want. And once I've got the shape and size that I want, I'm going to take my glue, skinny little line of glue, or you can do dot, dot, not a lot. And you're going to pinch and hold and pinch and hold and pinch and hold. Okay. Now once this is all set up and your glue is happy and dry-ish, you're gonna chop off the top of your upside down ice cream cone, and that's gonna be where the lava would come from. Woohoo! Okay, So now we've got a bit of a volcano. If you need to trim it, trim it. But that's the idea. Okay. So as this glue is drying, I'm going to cut out some of my lava. Okay, so I'm going to put this off to the side. Okay. Now, I don't know, Miss Harper, if you want your lava to explode, if you want it to be trickling down the side of your volcano, but you can do both. If you feel like you want to draw this, you can draw it, but I'm just going to kind of freewheel it. And we'll see how that goes. Like I said, always turn your paper, not your scissors. Okay. That doesn't look like lava. I know, but it will. And of course, if you need to color some more to make some more lava paper, you're all good. You might need to color on the back as well. I'll leave that to you. So here's what we're gonna do if we want lava to flow down the sides. You're gonna take your kind of goopy looking cutout piece and you're gonna give it a fold on the back, and that's gonna be the tab, okay? On the back side of the tab, give it a little gluey glue, stick it in, and it can run down the sides. I feel like this is a little too big, so I'm gonna cut it just a tiny bit smaller. Sometimes I think we feel like we need to start over if something's wrong, but the first question that artists ask themselves is, can I already use what I've got? And a lot of the times you really can. Okay, so let's see if that's gonna be better. Oh yeah, definitely. Boom, okay. Now, if you want it to explode, you might notice that I cut some different shapes. So what I'm gonna do there is I need something to glue this to. The one that came down the sides, if I wanna even glue down the edges, I can a little bit. But I'm always using the tiniest bit of glue, like it. We need to kind of stuff our volcano, right? Because if there's lava on the inside that is blowing up, we need to be able to stuff it and then glue these little pieces to the lava that's getting ready to explode. So I'm going to color this a little bit more again. It's not going to have to be perfect. Oh my gosh, I just ripped paper. Yep, sure did. Okay, this is the crazy part. Crumple it up. Open it up a little. Putting glue on the inside. Hopefully some of you can see where I'm going with this, and I'm going to stuff it. And that's going to be the lava that's on the inside that's getting ready to explode. Okay. And now, I don't know if I didn't do enough glue or if I just didn't hold it enough. Oh, it didn't hold it enough. Okay. Now what we're going to do is take the exploding glue, or exploding lava. Not exploding glue. That'd be really bad. Remember, your paper sculpture hands are the same as your clay sculpture hands. They're super important for paper sculpture so that you can bend and mold and form. So now we've got something that looks kind of like a volcano. I wish I would have colored a little bit more down here, or I would have had construction paper. That would have been nicer for me, but hopefully this will give you an idea about where you can start with a volcano. So now the second thing she asked me about is a clam. And when I think of a clam, I think of one that folds, and also one that has two equal shells, okay? So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to use some of my trash paper. And I'm going to draw something like a clam, and mine's going to be kind of, I guess, a combination between like a scallop shell and maybe a clam, and that's gonna work. And just because I'm not too keen on my crayons right now, because they didn't give me the effect that I wanted, I'm gonna grab a marker. Okay. So I'm gonna have my clam that looks something like this. Maybe something like a scallop shell. I'm kind of out of practice drawing, I have to tell you. I need to get back in the art room pretty fast. Okay, so I've got 1. And just a moment ago, I told you that I need 2. That's okay. All I'm gonna do is take my piece of paper and fold it. Because when I go to cut this out, I can have 2 if I folded my paper. I'm not gonna quite cut off the back yet. And of course, your clams can just be round if you want them to be. Okay, so now I've got 2. I'm gonna draw on the other side of this one real quick. I think I like that fat edge a little bit better for this. I always like to have paper underneath what I'm drawing so that I'm not getting anything on my table. And all I have to do is just change the paper when I'm done. Okay, well, here's the problem. If we take these 2 and we just put them together, you're really not going to be able to see what they look like, right? They're just going to be flat and not very exciting. Okay, what you have to do is we're going to take one little snip, boop, make like a little slit right there. And we're going to take the 2 edges and we're going to overlap them just a little bit. What that's going to achieve is it's going to go from flat to a little bit curved like that. So on these little leggy legs, you're just going to do one little teeny tiny dot of glue. And if it doesn't fold for you, it probably is because your fold is too short. So you need to cut it a little bit more. So I'm going to fold it a little bit like this to make it curved. And I'm going to do the same thing with the other one. 1 dot of glue, go over the top, just making it a little bit angled. Okay. The other thing that the back of the shell is doing, and the reason I made it a little bit bigger too, is because we now need to glue the 2 parts of the clam together, right? So now what I'm going to do, now that they're a little bit curved, almost like a dog's ear, is I'm going to put 1 dot of glue on the inside right there. I'm going to put this one on top, and there we go. Okay, so you could close this down once the glue is all dry, or you could put something fun inside of it like the little clam itself, but this way it can stay open and you can see it. Now give this a try, and if you don't like the shape of the shells that you made, that's okay. Just try out different shapes, different sizes, and see what you like. But hopefully this helps to answer your questions. And if you have any more questions, either post below or email me, and I'll be happy to answer those for you too. Have fun.